You started
wait.
dating?
What? She just said that so casually, didn't she?
You started dating
Dating.
someone's brother?
Dating.
Oh, I was like
dating. Dating.
I said Grace. Not just anyone. Anna van der Breggen's brother.
Impressive. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Bonk Babes podcast. If you're listening to this on Wednesday, the day that it drops, Happy New Year's Eve. Thanks for listening to the podcast this whole year or watching on YouTube, whichever one you do. This podcast is sponsored by Bike Tires Direct. So Bike Tires Direct has been sponsoring the Bonk Bros and the Bonk Babes for a long time now. So we're very thankful for their support. So you can get anything on Bike Tires Direct, bike components, tires, obviously, water bottles, which I've ordered from there, etc., etc. So go ahead and head to Bike Tires Direct and use code Bonk Babes for a percentage off your order. And you would also be sponsoring, helping us and helping this podcast run. So yeah, go ahead. Head over to biketiresdirect.com and use code BonkBabes at checkout. This episode was a very exciting one. We did it with G. I can't pronounce her full first name or last name because I would say it so poorly, but you'll hear Danny say it later. But so we were just talking about a bunch of things, 2026 plans, the world champs, gravel world champs again, that type of stuff, and just some UCI races, and yeah, a lot of plans for next year. So we hope you guys enjoy the podcast, and thanks for listening.
Hello, everyone. We have a guest. A guest is back, and we're going to do a warning because she is Dutch, so she might just say it how it is. We have Zsorica Skurs. Woo!
Wow. This is the first time you actually say my whole name, Danny.
I know. Do you know what? Before I came on the pod, I was like,
she was practicing.
I never say Zsorica. I can't do the skurs because you do it in your Dutch
you have a little bit like Shrosbree. Okay, you missed the C. Yeah, Schreurs.
Skurs. There you go. I can't do that like huh.
No, that's quite difficult. Schreurs. But it's funny because when I was in high school, most of the time they call me always Skurs. So Skurs can work as well. What you said before. Okay. Yeah.
Well, we're going to go with G, how most people know you in the peloton. I think before we deep dive into gravel and everything now, you've been on a few podcasts, you are well known, but in case a couple of our listeners don't know, do you want to do us a little intro of how you got into cycling and how you ended up on SD Works?
So I started cycling when I was 19, like on a race bike. I know how to cycle before that, obviously, because I'm from the Netherlands. But then I started because I started dating Anna van der Breggen's brother. And so Anna was pretty well known. So they what?
She just said that so casually, didn't she?
You started baiting?
Dating.
Brother?
Dating.
Oh,
dating.
I was like...
Dating. Dating. I started...
Grace, not just anyone, Anna van der Breggen's brother.
Impressive.
Yeah. And they got me on the bike and then, started to train a little bit, Anna and I, and then I did like 1 year, that was in 2010, on a club team, local club team from where Anna's from. And the year after, I actually got asked by what is now SD Works, but at that time it was Dolmans, to join that team. But I had honestly no idea what I was doing. I had no coach. I basically didn't know anything. Never raced outside the Netherlands. Did only some club races, and then I got in this kind of UCI team. Didn't go so well that year. But then Anna and I joined this Belgium team for 2 years together, and then that team folded. Anna continued, and I quit with cycling for a little while. And then somehow 2 years later, I think I I got into a role as a soigneur in one of the women's team. Did that for 8 years. And then in 2023, I decided like, okay, it's enough. I think, well, I've been working with these riders for a very long time. And then some of them are really professional and some of them you're like, well, maybe you should take it a little bit more professional and you get fucking paid for this. So maybe I can do the same thing if I maybe do my best. And then, of course, I'm really good friends with Anna van der Breggen, and she is with good relationship with Specialized, obviously. And then it kind of started like that. She was sort of in September, October staying with me, and we kind of thought like, oh, maybe, gravel could be nice. Maybe she's like, oh, you know what? I'm just going to ask Specialized because they always say that they want us to do more gravel. But yeah, our program is so busy. And that's basically how it started. So then SD Works took me under their wings for like 2024 and then this year, 2025. And it was just in 2024, just like, okay, let's see how it goes. And went pretty well. And then SD Works said like, okay, let's get you on the contract with us for this year. So I did a few road races, only 2 or something. And the rest I did gravel. And that's basically how it started.
That's impressive.
It's very good. I love that. Just talk to us like, as a soigneur, were you just getting frustrated, like knowing your potential and then just watching athletes maybe not really, because there must be a lot of that. Obviously, there's a lot of pro athletes doing amazing, but there's a lot of people that don't realize what they're getting.
I think it's that, and it's mostly the ones who are actually performing really well are the easiest to work with. It's are the ones who are like kind of saying like how amazing they are, but they don't perform anything. And then they find all reasons outside themselves. So they can complain, like, oh, I missed this, or, oh, you didn't do this for me, or these kind of things, instead of looking in the mirror and think like, oh, maybe I shouldn't eat that croissant before I start a race. Maybe that could help to not have stomach problems, for example.
No croissants before a race?
Well, I mean, they weigh everything, every little thing. And then when you forget to put the scale on a breakfast table, they shout to you like, how can you forget this? And then they weigh every little thing before the race. And then we arrive at the race, they go to a coffee store and they buy like 2 chocolate croissants to eat before the start of the race. I'm really sorry, but that's not really helping digest. I mean, for your racing, I would say. Maybe eat it afterwards, but not before. And I think, well, also, I started working with Ina Teutenberg in 2019 when then Trek Segafredo started their women's team. And Ina is actually a big part of like that I'm now doing what I do, because she actually took me out on the bike again, and we did the recon of the classics together, like Flanders and Gent-Wevelgem, all those kind of races. And then slowly I started to actually enjoy the riding again. Then I did a lot of running because I always went out before breakfast to do my exercises before start working. And then I ended up doing this 50K trail run in Girona, which went really well. And I started actually to think like, oh, I'm actually much stronger than I always thought I was. So I think I missed a lot of self-belief in when I was younger. And I think slowly it starts to, like I thought like, oh, I'm actually capable of riding this long, or I'm capable of running 50K, or and every time it's got better and better. And then I thought like I'm almost doing some things more professional than some of the riders. And that's why when I thought like, well, maybe it's time for me to ride the bike instead of being a soigneur. But I always enjoyed that. I really enjoyed working as a soigneur and work with the riders, because I'm really good in always giving, and not so much in taking. And so that's perfect as a soigneur, because it's basically what you do. So, for example, at that time he was 6 years. One of Ellen van Dijk explained him, because he came to a race and explained him the things I'm doing. And then he looked at her and he said like, okay, so G is basically the slave of the team. And I'm like, well, yeah, that's right, Morris. I mean, like, basically we do everything. Yeah, and that's fine because it's the job. But then you also would like to have something in return sometimes of the riders.
I think soigneurs are actually so underrated in what they do. Like,
yes, they
I've
are.
done a couple of feeds, and that's one day, and that flattens me out. And when you think at like the Tour de France, stage races, classics, even the mechanics, like all the work and pressure and prep that goes on, that I do think some of the younger riders especially take it for granted. And it's just such hard work.
Yeah, I think they do it more because they already get into, when you get an e-World Tour team when you're 18, you directly have like a really good salary. You don't know anything else. Like when I was racing and when Anna was racing, we still worked because it didn't earn anything. It only cost us money instead of earning money, basically. And that's really changed over the years. But yeah, the mechanics and the soigneurs, I think, is very important job, but it's very underrated. Like it's not so, it's like the bottom of the team, the garbage. But yeah, now I'm a cyclist myself.
Yes. So talk to, obviously, she's not just a cyclist. I mean, she's come into the gravel scene and absolutely dominated. Obviously, I think let's just talk about gravel from the start, really, for you and coming into it. What was like the first thing you noticed about it? Like coming in with SD Works, did you feel the pressure, or did you just kind of go in with no expectation, just ride as hard as you can kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, I joined one of the training camps in January in 2024 with the SD Works. And that was like, for me, really like, oh man, I'm riding here with Demi Vollering and Lotte Kopecky, world champ, like Anna was not racing at that time, but I mean, like all these good riders. And I was like, whoa, okay, bit of a shock. But then Sandoval was the first race, and it was just like, just go in and see how it's going to go. And I think that whole year was just like, I go into every race. There was not really a plan of like putting a major goal or anything. It was just like, I go do my best in every race and we'll see how it goes. And that's basically how I went into it. And I did a lot of things myself. Like, I was on the SD Works team, but I did all the, looking after my bike myself, making sure that all the nutrition, everything. Basically, I was my soigneur and mechanic myself. But it's good that I had that experience. So it was easy to apply. And then this year, I got more support also from Specialized itself. And then it was slightly different. And now I think like with 2 years of racing, you learn so much, and you take that. I take that with me for next year, and but it goes with ups and downs, as we both know as well. With then when I was like awful in Oregon Trail, for example, and then I had that accident, and then my season was finished. So but
let's talk about one of my favorite topics is teamwork in gravel, and like how do you think it stands? Because like I very much still, I think gravel is evolving, teams are evolving, but I still very much see it as a selfish sport in terms of like, because of the prize money and stuff. And obviously I know you were SD Works this year, but like at Unbound, for example, you were off-road Specialized, and like how would the team dynamics change, or was it still very much like Sophia rides Sophia?
And I think it's really different if there's, like in the road cycling, for example, you just share the prize money. And I think if you can apply that in your gravel team, then it's way more fair, because there's like, in the end, we all need to earn money, and that's a big part of it, like the bonuses or prize money itself from the races. So, but I still think it would be nice to go more towards the team tactics, because with 2 or 3, you're much stronger than by yourself, and you can play actually the game. And I feel like, and that's what I always liked about cycling, is playing the game, like playing tactics and things like that. While now it's still really individual.
And that's like road cycling. You get a lot of those tactics and like playing the game. I feel like gravel is now evolving more to that. Like at first, gravel was always just like, you'd have breakaway riders just like go and ride as hard as they can. But now years later, you're having, actual tactics and like pelotons and breakaways and, all these other things. And Unbound is a really interesting conversation too, because I feel like that was one of the first, I think Sarah made a post where she literally said like, she led you out And right, did that happen at Unbound this year, or was that last year?
No, it was last year. I mean, like last year, in 24, like Sophia, Sarah, and I, we had like a pre-meeting because, of course, Specialized wants to win as a brand, and not so much as like it doesn't matter who wins. They just want the brand to win, and I think that's really important. And everyone who is with Specialized needs to keep that in their mind, I would say.
Yeah. It was just crazy though, because that was like one of the first times like I was scrolling on Instagram and I was like, that's somebody really verbally calling out, teamwork, especially in like a bunch sprint finish, which was interesting.
Well, and I remember when Sophia first punctured in that race, like Sarah was on the front, like I'm not working because Sophia punctured. So that's kind of what I was saying. Like, I know you're all like SD work, Specialized, off-road or whatever, but like when you come together in these teams, like maybe there's more like teamwork and stuff. But
it came from the Specialized sponsor, obviously, because like I said, Specialized wants to win as a brand because they want to have their best, the bike finishing of crossing the line as first, of course. Yeah. So I think it's more leading towards that next year as well. But like if you look at, for example, Pas Normal, they all have their individual bike sponsors. So I doubt if they work together. Like you didn't do Core 4. No, you didn't, Danny. No. So there at one point I was like, are you working now together or not? So I just went to one of the riders and I'm like, well, let's be clear. Are you working together or not? Because it would be nice to know a little bit because it changes our tactics as well then, or my tactics, my individual, and they were like, oh no, we just go for ourselves. And I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah. Then it's just all,
And is that true? Like that was the full...
Well, yeah, because sometimes one of the Pas Normal girls attacked and then the other one was closing it. And I'm like, okay, cool, good for me. But I mean, it looks a little bit stupid in my opinion.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, they all have their bike sponsors. So maybe,
That's such a good way of looking at it, actually. It's like probably the bike sponsors working for each other versus...
Yeah, because
the clothing is your main sponsor and they're paying you the most money.
I would say the bike sponsor.
I think I think bike brands just have,
but PA should be their title sponsor. In my head, that's like how you like.
Yeah.
Well, I only knew that
brands have more leverage. Like I think they're just a larger entity, I guess, and like probably bigger contracts.
But I think. I mean, say if I'm wrong, but I think what should be happening if Pas Normal want to be this team and working together, they need to go to the athletes and say, the prize money is split. This is the A rider. Go all in for them.
Yeah,
whereas
do we know
Specialized
that
clearly
do that? Sorry, keep going, Danny.
No, I don't know any. But I'm just saying, like, because if Specialized is saying, look, we don't care as long as Specialized wins. It's pretty clear to the athlete one of them needs to win.
How does that? How do you guys, Danny and G, as gravel racers, feel about that? Like, are you like wanting to embrace that teamwork environment where you're like, if you're not the A rider, you're okay being that domestique, or are you kind of like, I came to gravel to be my A rider and to like cross the finish line first?
I would personally say that I think gravel is developing each year and it's still trying to figure it out. And every experience I have, I've always been on my own. So I will always look, to be honest, to riders like G to be in a break with, to know that we'll work well together and want to get to the end wherever we are.
I think it is because like you cannot really compare it with road cycling because there you just have teams, you have 6 riders starting. But now with sort of teams coming up, but you have also still the privateers like a Danny who is just doing kind of her own thing. But then I think like with gravel, it's also, you need to be able to sacrifice yourself for someone else. So when I'm in a team with the Specialized riders, I need to trust the other riders that they will do the same back to me. And it's not only me giving, but it's also, and that can be hard. So sometimes I think an Danny can really take advantage of that because maybe we just gonna be like looking at each other like, well, you need to close it. I want to win. For example, and then he's like, goodbye. I'm just gonna go. But also on the other hand, if there's a breakaway and I'm in it, and Sophia or whatever, or Sarah or whatever, if we work as specialized together is in the back and we go for one of them, I can just say like, well, guys, sorry, I cannot work. I just need to sit in. And then towards the end, maybe say, okay, now I'm going to go on attack.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. You have like the options now when you go gravel where you're like, I can literally be a privateer and race solo, or I can maybe choose to find a team now, or like a conglomerate of individuals who like where you're wanting to work together and like be that sacrificial rider. Because I do think some people like in road cycling too, you have your finishers and you have your people who are your GC riders, and then you have people who know they're the domestique, and that's like 90% of who race in the world tour.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know how. I think it only works if you if you race for the same bike sponsor and not so much because it's in the end. I think, well, maybe you know better, Danny, because you're a privateer. But I think the bike sponsor is the biggest income. Of being a privateer.
I think it's either that, or unless these teams that come in that are clothing dictated, like I think there's like a Q36.5 gravel team and Assos gravel team coming in, and unless they're gonna pay for someone to be a DS of that team and be like, guys, we're gonna, the overall win is this, and start doing it that way. I don't know, but for me personally, I think you're right. I think it's still very much the privateers and then like the bike sponsor creating this team dynamic.
Well, you know all the gossip, Danny, because you are still in Girona. I'm out of there now. I miss everything. I show up on Sandoval and I have no idea who's around me, probably.
I go for a ride and everyone's like, have you not heard about this? And people are showing me video. I'm like, I am probably like the furthest behind in Girona.
Well, I'm the last for sure.
Yeah, I then messaged G like, by the way.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know what it's going to look like next year, but I think it's just one of those things. The more it evolves, we'll find out, I suppose.
There's also more road cyclists coming to the gravel now because there's some road teams folding and they didn't find a contract, so they think like, oh, then I go to the gravel. So that's going to be interesting as well.
What is your opinion on that, the road cyclists? Because I do think, even me personally, coming from the road to the gravel, it's very rare that someone can nail it in their first season. I think some people do, but I think there's so much learning to gravel, being able to fix a tire on your own. There's so much more to it than, there's no team car. But what's your thoughts on that?
Oh, yeah. I don't think some of them, they don't realize how much they actually need to do themselves once they get into the gravel. Because in a road team, everything is done. You just show up. You don't even have to bring your bike. You don't have to fly with your bike because your bike is already in the truck. And then, it's there when you want to do your spin and you come back and you put it there and you go to your room and your lunch is ready and everything is done. So I think with the gravel, there's so much more to it that you need to do yourself still. And I think also the racing is very different than road racing, except the UCI World Championship. That's basically just a road race. But other than that, it's very different. So it's going to be interesting. I'm not too scared for that, to be honest, for some of these riders coming in. I mean, I'm actually getting excited. Come. And then I'm like, come on, Danny, we're going to show them what is gravel.
I was literally about to say, you don't seem like the type of person to be scared or intimidated. You seem very confident, which is a good thing.
I have actually very low confidence, to be honest. Maybe I look like I have a lot of confidence, but I have I don't know. I don't have that much. Well, let's say not so much confidence about myself, but the thing is, I probably as well, maybe people are a little scared of me because I'm so tall. So then sometimes, you ride your bike and I'm like, oh, what do you think? What are you trying to do now? Because you're not going to get in there.
Yeah. And then she'll the new roadie will quickly find out because G will go, what the fuck was that?
Yeah. Or what I like equality. I like things when things are fair. And for me, it's sometimes, and yes, if someone is constantly sitting on and pretending like, oh, I'm so tired, I'm so this, I cannot see or whatever, like, fuck off, I'm tired as well. So I will say something and say like, well, we all need to work together, because if someone is up the road there and you don't gonna work, you're not gonna win for sure. I mean, then you basically say, okay, I'm happy with my second place. But we all race for the win, is in my opinion. So then everyone needs to do their part. And then, but you always have a few that just sit on and they pretend like they're so tired. And then in the end, they attack or leave you behind, Yeah. So yeah, I will say something.
That I would probably start like crying next to her if she was like, fuck off and pull. I would be like, okay. I would be like, please don't yell at me.
I will say that she is great to follow in the peloton. She's great.
Oh yeah, I bet she has a great draft. She's like 6'5".
Oh, yeah. Gee, do you remember in Belgium this year when that person cut us up? So someone cut me and G up, and instead of, we didn't panic. We just were like fully leaning on each other, weren't we? Like around this corner, like holding each other up. And we just both go to this other person. What the fuck was that?
I know that. Yeah. I remember that. Yeah, that is. But it was. Yeah, because I know you're a good bike handler as well, and I think we both are. So that helps a lot as well.
Having G on one side and Danny on the other of you, and they're just like leaning into you, yelling at you.
Oh yeah,
what are you doing?
Yeah, I know. I can be sometimes. I know I can be a bitch on the day sometimes. But you know what is funny? Sometimes they also come to me and they say like, "Well, Gerike, this is really unfair that this person is not riding." And I'm like, "Yeah, you want me to say something? You can also say something yourself." Yeah. But I'm the bad man because I will say something. Yeah.
Yeah, that's valid.
But like, I always think like, in racing, like when you're in the situation, your heart rate's through the roof. You do sometimes say stuff and you're like, shit, that was a bit mean. Yeah. Like, I remember, I think I said something to someone before a single track last year, and I was like, I didn't need to say that. So at the finish line, I apologized, like, look, I was just angry. I shouldn't have said that. And I think you can't, take racing personal. That's what I've realized. Like, when you're racing, you're a different person. Yeah. You're just trying to stay upright, get to the front.
Mode.
Well, yeah, I think it's part of the racing. But I'm also really good, like Danny says as well. Like, go then after the finish to this person and say like, oh, hey, sorry, I shouldn't have said this. Or it's like how Axel and I started off in 2024 with Sandoval. That first day was like, we were yelling to each other and like fucking angry. But then I message her at night and I'm like, hey, I actually don't know you so well, but I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said this. And since then, like, we're fine. We're like, okay, we both have strong personality. That's cool. Yeah. So in the racing, we might say something to each other what isn't, we don't really mean. And then after the race, we're totally fine. So yeah.
Yeah. No, exactly that. Yeah. I think you did touch on the Dutch world champs. Sorry, not the Dutch. The world champs.
Well, it's the Dutch National Championship in yes, exactly.
You basically freaking dominated it. But so before we talk about next year's calendar and stuff, let's just talk about that world champs, because I was on stage with Laurens Tandam, who was nicely defending the Dutch team, obviously. But from your perspective, what the fuck was going on there?
Yeah, it was like, we had this, I think on the first day we did this, Laurens is a really cool guy, but I think he shouldn't be the coach from the end of the road team and the gravel maybe, but he started with the gravel and he organized this cool thing, like we ride all together, barbecue at night, these kind of things. And then, but he's really clear and he says like, okay, just don't push each other in the barrier, but, you all qualify yourself. I'm not going to point anyone out. You can just race yourself in the gravel. So basically, that's what was said. So, I mean, I'm very sad for Shirin. She didn't win because, I mean, that would have been great. But I know that when I did a few attacks early in the race and then Shirin was closing it on me. So, it's in the end, we all closed it on each other. It was more like a road race anyways, because at one point Lorena came up to me and she says like, oh, is this also how your gravel races go? And I'm like, no. And she's like, no, it feels like I'm in a road race. I'm like, yes. Exactly. That's basically how it is. So, what I don't get is that I still don't know. I didn't read about it either. Is why Yara pushed so hard to close it on Shirin.
Yeah.
And I don't know what's said there or what's done there or whatever. But yeah.
Do you think it was more, everyone was in national kit, but everyone was working within SD Works? Because obviously Kopecky,
Julia
was like helping Lorena get back. So it was more like SD Works versus...
I think going back again to like this bike sponsor, it was specialized kind of, not so much maybe with the AG insurance team, but like SD Works, we were with a lot of riders kind of saying like, okay, it would be cool to have specialized bin, of course.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So that's why I think that was more racing like that.
Yeah.
So
next year, talk to us about your calendar. Like, so you didn't apply for Lifetime?
No, I did not.
Dang.
I don't know why not, actually, to be honest. I had a bit of FOMO when I saw all the things, and I'm like, oh, fuck, why did I not? I don't even know why I didn't really reply. Well, maybe it was also because, I'm more on the European side of the team, and I was like, well, we'll race a bit more in Europe, and actually, maybe Latville was scared me a little bit again after I did it this year. But I feel it's also a lot of commitment for the Lifetime, I would say. Everything is around that, and you need to plan your whole season around these races. And I think there's, for me, also so many other cool races I want to do.
I will say, I think that's what is... So I don't think anyone realizes the commitment to Lifetime that's needed if you want to do it properly. I think that is... Well, it's mainly the travel, but they're so spread out that you have to be careful. You think you need to fill your time with other races, but then you're just traveling even more. But then you're like, but then I'm only doing 6 or 7 races.
Well, and I feel like for you guys, since you guys are overseas, it's just 10 times harder.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it is hard,
the US people just drive everywhere. Like, a lot of people go out to Leadville early in Colorado early and stay with their friends in Boulder or stay with people that they know. But it's like for you guys that don't have like a foundation, it's a lot harder to find people to stay at their house for free for 2 months just to do altitude camp.
Yeah, no, it is. It is for sure. So I think like that's, especially with Leadville, you need to be on that altitude for a long time because it's fucking high. It's like someone who grew up on the sea level, it was a kind of a shock to the system. But But now I'm in Colombia on altitude, and it seems like my body reminds the altitude from Leadville, so I'm actually fine here.
Really?
Yeah, no adjustment.
Are you riding where Simone Pillow?
Oh, yeah, he lives not far from here, where I'm staying. Yeah.
Did
you see he's like making a new race in Colombia? Oh. I think it's
cool.
Like a race. He's been posting reels with like an Instagram. I was looking at it briefly yesterday, but he was talking about how good the riding is in Colombia and how he's grown up there and how he was like, I've been to all these other places, but I've decided because all these people, Danny, knock on one, Danny's like this, but it's like, you're a bike racer, you travel all these places, and then you're like, oh yeah, like I'm going to go and live somewhere where it's where it's better for cycling. And then instead of like my hometown, like where I grew up, because here's better. But then Simone was like, I keep coming back to Colombia and like I choose to live here because the riding's still so good. So he was like, so I want to make a race out here.
So what's that gravel stage race at the start?
Yeah, I think he's doing that one, Transcordilleras.
Yeah, that's it.
Yes.
I want to do that in 27.
She already has her race calendar planned.
Me too.
Well, I was like,
because I wanted to do it this year, but then it's interfering with Santaval and some other sponsor-related things in that week. So I couldn't do it. So I'm like very, very disappointed. But I met the guy here who is actually helping me out a lot here, like super cool, Maurizio. He is one of the organizers. Picked me up from the airport, show me all around here. And he is the organizer of Transcordilleras. And it just looks amazing. Yeah. But it is really nice riding here. The gravel is amazing. It's actually, I would say, harder than Girona. It's more rough.
Really?
Yeah.
Rougher?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
How long are you there for?
So many roadsides.
I'm here until the 16th, so 3.5 weeks in total. Yeah.
Gee, unreal.
Yes.
That's so cool. Someone's going to be absolutely peaking for Santa Mai.
Well, no, because I get off the altitude way too early, but that doesn't matter. I just want to ride in the sun, something new.
It looks.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you do over Christmas there then? Is it like, do they celebrate Christmas?
They celebrate every day here, it seems like. There's like constantly people on the street and bars and coffee places. Nice, like music on and everything. It's constantly busy. It's quite busy here, but I think it's also because of the holiday season now. But they mainly celebrate Christmas Eve. And then, what did I do the day after? Oh yeah, I did the gravel ride with Mauro. Beautiful ride. Yeah. It was really nice.
That's cool to be somewhere different over Christmas. To be fair, I experienced my first Spanish Christmas and everything's shut, isn't it, really?
Yeah, Spain likes to shut things when they can.
Yeah.
It's like, cool, they do it 365 days of the year, but...
they'll take any holiday. Oh, closed.
Oh, okay.
Everything. Use context clues, Grace.
Yeah, well, I was like, shut. But then I was thinking that it meant like shit, but like some weird like European slang word for shit is shut.
Yeah, Girona goes quite sleepy.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I need to move to Girona then. I want to be sleepy on Christmas.
Yeah, I do miss G living here actually.
Oh yeah. I do miss you and some others, but to be honest, it's also quite nice to be out of that cycling bubble.
Tell everyone where you've moved to, G.
Oh well, Canada. That's why I'm in Colombia because it's fucking cold there.
Right, she was like there, I think 2 weeks, and she messaged me like, I booked a flight to California.
Oh no, it is beautiful. It's really, really nice. But my prep is really different actually. I do when I'm in Canada, I do some cross country skiing. Not that I'm good in it, because I feel like like a giraffe who starts to first walk, kind of.
No,
on the skinny legs. That's
you
me.
have to be good at cross country skiing.
Well, why?
I can imagine you being good.
I never done it.
Legs, probably. You go once you get the hang of it, you'll be so good. And you have long legs, and you're very athletic. Look at me.
Okay. I like the flat party-ish. That's quite nice. But then when there's this downhill, I'm like, where the fuck are my brakes? I'm gonna brake here. So I'm just going straight.
Going downhill on cross-country skis is pretty hard. But I will say, though, I feel like a lot of people that live in Canada, like Haley and Lesby and Adam Roberts, like they all cross-country ski, snowshoe, all that stuff, all winter long, and they're so fit.
Totally. Oh, it is amazing. It's such good cross training.
Yeah.
Cecily Decker does it a lot as well. Or like,
she lives in Canada?
Does skimo. No, she lives Colorado somewhere, maybe.
Okay. Somewhere cold.
No idea.
Somewhere
cold. Yeah.
So
very cool. So next year's calendar for you, will it be like a kind of bit of everything? Bit of gravel earth, bit of actually
kind of a mixture of everything, yeah. Bit of Earth Series, then UCI race in March, I think, in Portugal. Obviously, Tracker, Unbound. Maybe Scotland in between. Are you going to go back to Scotland, Danny? No, you might. Okay.
I might. Well, I might race the Lincoln Road Race.
Nice.
Which is the week before Gralloch, which would make sense for me to then do Gralloch. But I need to work it out. I haven't worked out the logistics of that yet.
But that's also quite a lot if you do Tracker.
Exactly.
Scotland, Unbound.
Yeah. The Lincoln thing was more a sponsor request.
Oh, okay. But
that's why it's all I'd rather just Tracker, rest, Unbound, in all honesty.
Yeah.
Because my thing next year is to try and race less.
Okay, I will help to remind you of that.
Yeah, that's every single week she comes on with a new race that she's gonna go.
I know.
I just get excited.
Well, if you want, you can actually race but there's so many nice races out there as well. And the same thing.
There are so many nice ones.
Yeah.
But talk to us about the UCI races, because we know that you can get some very well organized UCI races, like Gralloch, to be fair.
Wörthensee in Austria.
Yeah, Austria. But then there's also a lot that we end up racing with the men, and you voiced that last year. So how are you feeling about that? Did you get much response from them?
Well, from some of the dudes that I need to fuck off and shut my mouth, yes. And I'm like, well, you don't have to deal with this all the time, so please.
Did they actually?
There's some are not so positive, no. Yeah. They were like, well, they were not, and I'm like, well, you will never understand because you never be in this situation.
Totally.
It's more the amateurs, and I think the amateurs felt they also don't like it so much. But I mean, fair enough. It was mostly after Roden, the UCI one I did in the Netherlands. And I know now, okay, they changed the date, so I cannot do it. But I know now that they changed their start order for next year, and they actually took like a lot of feedback from us, from the women. Yeah, so they really trying to change it. So it's a good thing. So I think we always need to speak up because, of course, you cannot change it constantly or whatever. It also takes time. But what for me is annoying is that some races you'll start together, other races you have like a minute between. Like there needs to be just a structure that in every race this is the start order to guarantee that the women have their own race, kind of.
Well, that's the thing. I think it was like when gravel was starting and evolving, like fair enough, they were trying to understand how it works, but now it's like a lot of races are clearly able to do it, so everyone should. It's like Sea Otter here in Girona, like when we had the guys going off a minute behind us, like as soon as we started the race I was like, this is so bad, like it just makes it such crap racing for us.
Yeah, because it's just surviving.
Yeah,
you would think there should, like, it's surprising the UCI hasn't come up with guidelines.
Oh, yeah, but they don't give a shit.
Because they're literally the ones that set like they make all these they're like the Karens of bike racing.
Yeah. It's just
but it makes totally no sense. In the end, I feel like they just came up with the UCI gravel series because they saw that gravel starts to get popular. Well, and they were like, oh, cool, we can make some money out of here. Let's start our own series. Yeah. But
yeah, for sure.
But there's actually Sorry, you go, Grace.
No, you go.
Well, I was going to say, there's so many races that clash. She's mugging me off. So many races that clash next year. It's actually wild. Across all the series. It's like, it's like, why don't you guys just talk to each other a little bit? And then maybe us athletes will come to more of them.
Friends?
Exactly. They cannot because there's money involved. So then if there's money involved, they...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Gravel Worlds in Australia, you'll be aiming for that.
Yeah, well, I for sure will. I'm going. Yeah, and for sure because I feel like it might be a bit more gravel race than
That's
what
I was
used
gonna
to.
Ask if you think less roadies are gonna go since Australia is kind of on its own.
I doubt if there's less roadies going because when I was talking with the Dutchies after the World Champs or with the SD Works riders, they're like, "Oh, cool! Next year in Australia, I just go there and do a holiday after that."
Yeah.
Because then they combine it. They are like, "Oh, cool! I'm gonna do my off-season holiday then directly after Worlds," and they see the gravel just as a fun thing, kind of to do to end up the season.
Yeah, I guess too, like all the people from the other countries, I guess my take on that was more from like a US point of view where like USA Cycling doesn't give, or I shouldn't say doesn't give, but like barely gives any money to the US people going to race.
GB
so I'm
gives
like,
nothing.
Why?
Oh no, the Netherlands does not give either anything. Nothing.
So this is the thing. This is what's quite hard. Like the federation doesn't support anyone.
So like SD Works is paying like Loretta.
Oh no, they didn't pay.
To go?
No.
Wow.
No.
So she has to pay like everyone has to pay for their own stuff to go there?
Yeah.
So that's not just a US thing.
No, it's you everyone paid themselves.
Yeah.
Then why would you go?
Well,
it's like
because they earn enough to avoid to pay it, I guess.
One of them walked away with
I guess that's true. I guess I have no scale of like I don't actually know which each like, obviously I know Matthew Vanderpool makes a lot of money because he's my boyfriend. So like, I see his like bills coming in, like his.
I think Lorena Wiebes can afford her own way to World Champs.
I want to know how much. How much money they make.
But listen, Lorena lives in Maastricht or like near there somewhere. So, and the race was there. So she just slept at home. She didn't have to pay anything.
Yeah.
And that's why there were so many Dutchies, because they didn't have to really pay anything because they're close by anyway. So we'll see how it is next year, because I think there's also this race in China for the World Tour. And next year, all the teams, they need to do all the World Tour races, I believe. So for sure, there are still road races going on around the World Championship. So you would not go in and out because it's such a long flight. So there might be less people, might be less roadies. There might be more gravel riders. I don't know.
I do think it will be the first proper gravel course, though. Hopefully.
Yeah,
that's
hopefully.
What Cassia said, who's near that
one. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
She said like it's like actual proper gravel. So hopefully it would be a proper race.
Yeah.
Rather than last 2 years of, what would you even call it? Road race / cross? Yeah,
those gravel roads that were in the world champs like the last 2 years look like the US like greenways with crushed gravel on them. Like they don't look wide enough to be like an actual road. It just looks like a pedestrian like
it's a farmer. It's for the tractor. Yeah.
But also, Grace, you're from the US where like
everything is
narrow road is like, I don't know, 2 lanes.
Yes, exactly.
Honestly, like
true.
that is the difference when you come to like gravel racing in the US, and it'll be like narrow section,
so much
and we all look at it like narrow.
That's why you also don't worry if you start at last person in a gravel race, because you know the roads are so wide. Before the first corner, you're already in the front. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think it'll be an exciting year, and I honestly, I think it's pros and cons of everything being in Lifetime and not. Like people like to me, oh, I'm sorry, you're the wild card, and I'm like, well, it's great. I'm not like stuck, because realistically, if you have a bad race at Sea Otter or Unbound, if you puncture at one of them, and you're not for me personally, there's 3 mountain bike races next. You know, it's like it's pretty. Leadville, you got to adapt to like. I obviously will go all in and want to try and do well in those first 2 races, but it's like the option, if it's not going to plan, to not have to stick in it is pretty
well, I think for you it's nice to have just 2 races where you need to focus on now, and they're like far enough apart and not too early in the season. So for you for sure, and then you can see what's next. Well, I think if you are now in the Lifetime, your whole year is basically already planned around these races of Lifetime. So I think for you, it's actually quite nice, because if you not get into the Lifetime, you can then reorganize your calendar for the second part of the year, for example. Yeah. And with the mountain biking, I think you need to do so much extra training for the technique, especially with, I mean, the Americans in the Lifetime, they're so good in the mountain biking. Yeah. And I know they spend also a lot of time on it, but there's some who have a mountain bike background. And I think if you kind of new into it in the mountain biking, even if you're good skilled, it's different than going on a gravel bike. So it takes away, I think, normal training, because you need to focus more on the mountain biking as well.
What was your Leadville experience like? Because in terms of this whole drop, I mean, the boys podcast, like I think they did like 4 episodes on Leadville about drop bars versus, it was ridiculous. But like,
nerds.
In the girls' field, it was pretty split, wasn't it, with the bikes, and like, would you have wanted to be on drop bars or not?
I was happy I could keep my bike up. I have to be honest, I would like. They say it's a lot of adjustment, and you really need to take the time to get used to the dropper bar on a mountain bike. And as I said, I don't have mountain bike experience at all. For me, it was more like I would like to sit more in the position I'm used to in a gravel, because in a mountain biking you're always a bit wider with your arms, and it's different on your back, on your body, and everything. But for me, it was fine to do it like that, and Yeah.
So as a preference, you probably would go drop bar at that.
I think so, because that's more, you're used to that position with your shoulders, with your arm position, these kind of things. But then I assume the bike handling of a mountain bike is very different from a gravel bike. So I never tried it, so I cannot really say like what my preference is.
Is it, would you, I mean, a lot of the mountain bikers say it's not technical, but they're not, or would you say because of the speed on the descents like it is? Yeah,
I would say because of the speed and the descent, it is. Yeah. Yes. I mean, if you just go...
Well, I was going to say at Leadville, they have all those like river ruts like they did at Sea Otter.
Yeah.
So if you hit one of those going like full speed, I feel like you would just get ejected.
Yeah, I think they had a lot of rain or something. I don't know. They all said it was kind of, I don't know what they said. I was like, I just need to survive. But it was a really cool experience for sure. I got better late in the race, but then the race was already gone, obviously. Yeah. But I mean, no, it was really nice. But it's not, for mountain biking, it's not technical, no. It's just like, I think you need to do, it is very different than going on a gravel bike. And the speed is really high on the downhills.
I also feel like that race, just based off what everyone says, is actually you have to kind of go into it with like a solo mind. Because I think Ruth was telling us that she said her coach literally said to her, if you go over these numbers on the first race, I'll be so disappointed in you. And she said it was so hard because people were just going off and she was like sticking to it. But then later on, she was catching people up. So it must be such a like hard mental battle to like not go in the red at that altitude.
Yeah. I think the altitude is what kills it but for yourself, because I felt actually quite okay leading up to the race, but then the day itself, I was like, wow, what's going on? I just felt awful. For example, got up altitude, felt really good. But I mean, it is definitely different to be on that high altitude than we used to. I mean, like now I'm on 2200 and it's okay, but that's already, you're on 3000, which is, it's so different. Yeah.
I was going to ask, I know Columbia's at elevation. There's so many road cyclists who go Columbia and train too, because it's at elevation and like phenomenal climbing.
My favorite.
Is that sarcasm?
Yeah, their climbing is my favorite. No, but you're right. It is.
You climb so well. I don't know why she even says that.
But I get why a lot of cyclists go here, because also it's nice temperature now. There's a lot of climbing, good riding.
Well, have you been to Florida before for training?
To where here?
She's in Florida.
Florida. No, never.
No, why would you? It's so
Florida's
flat.
a really good training spot.
Everyone tells me not to go there, but
don't go there. Look, we got the 2 G's on the podcast. G, one in Florida flat. I feel like
because it's flat.
It's so flat.
Well, yeah. I live in a mountainous area, okay? I just want to get some miles in.
Yeah, but is it even good miles?
No,
I hear it's like traffic.
I'm basically only here because my grandparents live here, so I'm visiting them this week. And then my old college team is here next week. So that's why.
Oh, okay. So you're only for a short time there?
I wouldn't, 2 weeks. Pretty long. Pretty long for a girl who works an 8 to 5.
True.
Aww.
What are you going to do in New Year in Colombia?
What I'm going to do with New Year? There's a brewery. I cannot say that word so well. Brewery. Yes.
That's good.
Brewery.
Not far from here. So I think we're going to go there. It's like a kind of a cyclist brewery as well. So some people recommend us to go there. But the thing is, we are like on this, we don't have a car. I'm here with my boyfriend now. And then we don't have a car, but we constantly need to go first down like 900 meters, but it's pretty steep on like a really shitty road, gravel, and every time we need to climb up again after every training, after every shopping or whatever. Yes, so I don't know. It's gonna be... Yes, it doesn't, but it's like almost 100 meters of difference. So it's pretty steep elevation.
It'd be like going up Montjuic in Girona, probably.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, exactly. But then the roads here are not so good either. Like it's all rocky and everything. Yeah, I mean the asphalt. Normally the riding is really nice, but going up to this little house where we're staying is not so nice. But I mean, probably we do that on. We go down by bike and up. Normally, if you drink a lot of alcohol, you don't feel your legs, so I end up gonna be fine.
Do you know what? I think that's a good topic to kind of round up on. Is obviously, I mean, for you as well, going from working full time and everything, and having this like work-life balance, I think is really healthy. And to like, for me personally, like being surrounded by people that don't want to talk about cycling all the time, like I'll go insane if I don't. Like, how do you manage like the pressure and having normal life and things like that?
Yeah, for me, like normal life is really important. Like not talking about cycling all the time, or hang out with people like Danny, who also has a normal life and I can talk about anything. I mean, like we have really deep conversations. Actually, we have really good conversations on the bike. We most of the time not even talking about biking. We talk about life stuff.
Yeah, we've been each other's therapy about our past.
Exactly. And for me, that's really important because, you know, as much as I like the gravel scene and I have some good friends in there, it's just a small. It's only a few, because in the end, you know, some of them, they are too obsessed or too much. If they need something from you, they're super nice, and then suddenly they ghost you and you never hear anything again. Yeah. And you're like, okay, well, what did I do wrong to you? I mean, like, I just trying to be nice, or like, just why can we not all be friends or whatever? But maybe they see it as a competitor or these kind of things. Yeah. And for me now, being away from Girona is kind of nice. It's very different. For this whole winter is very different approach than I used to. But I think for my own, to keep my head kind of focused on, you know, like normal things in life, what's more important than just bike racing, is really, really good. And it works well so far. But yeah.
Yeah. I think it's like so important to have that balance. And like, and it's similar to, I mean, both what the other girls do, you like have other hobbies, Grace still working and stuff. I think it's so, obviously we all train hard, we recover hard, but like you can switch off from it. And I think it's like an important thing, because you see.
Did you just say that work was my hobby?
No, sorry.
Well, my work.
Okay, work's not your hobby. And your work is in cycling.
Back it up.
But okay, you go to Tennessee and you dance on the bars. That's your hobby.
Yeah, and I play pickleball.
That's also a good hobby.
Is pickleball a thing in Europe? Like, do a lot of people play it?
No, it's more in the North American thing, I would say.
Yeah, oh yeah,
I don't think.
Gee, does your boyfriend bike?
He rides with me, but he's not a cyclist. He's not a professional or anything. No.
Yeah, I feel like that would be nice too, being like a professional and then having someone that's like not.
Oh no, he's becoming a helicopter pilot. He's actually studying.
Whoa!
So
she's gonna get dropped
off. He's gonna fly the Lifetime helicopter.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I was talking with Gerard from Tracca, because Gerard always wants a helicopter in the Tracca, and I'm like, well, if you get a helicopter, I have the pilot. Then for sure. Yeah.
That's such good. Do you know what though? So right, when I first met G's boyfriend, I like joked. He was wearing like her Specialized helmet and stuff, and he had like ankle socks on, and I was like, gee, you've got to get him some new socks. Like, obviously didn't think she was going to tell him that. Forgot she's Dutch. Runs straight to him. Yep. Danny says, you need some longer socks. You go, so he came up to me like, are my socks better? I was like,
gee, I would do the same thing.
Of course. But I mean, like, he doesn't give a shit at all. He's just like, you know, doesn't have to be this hippie Girona style guy. He's just, he likes many other things. He's also like to go to gym and everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys should start playing pickleball.
Yeah, well, I think his parents play pickleball, so I think it's more like an retirement. But I don't know. I cannot judge because I never done it.
Does that mean that I'm almost retired?
No, that's what I thought. Like I thought that most people who are retired do play big pickleball, but it's nice to hear that someone young is also playing pickleball. So maybe I need to try it one day.
But I will say my parents like play, they get lessons, they have like these competitive little like tournaments in their neighborhood, and they're like, Barbara said that I was serving badly, so it's like toxic as hell. But there was an orthopedic doctor that was like, pickleball is not good for your body, because all these people that just like go on walks and just like are semi-healthy, then they start playing pickleball and they're just like running for the balls, like thumping on their feet on this like concrete court, and they're just like ruining their bones.
No. Well, I can imagine that actually happened. But is it a bit like padel? You know padel?
Oh yeah, yeah. That's more in Isn't that one here? I've seen a paddle.
Oh yeah. It's really big in Spain. Yeah, it's like one of the biggest sports there.
Yeah, it's very similar, I think, to pickleball.
Yeah,
like ping pong.
But no, it's like
it's a combination of squash and tennis. And you play the two. You play squash. You know squash?
Squash.
Yeah, no, I don't know what that is.
Yes, you do. It's in a white room, and you smack it against the wall.
Oh, yeah.
Would you call that in America?
What about Batman? Is this another?
No. Badminton isn't in a room.
Okay, if a Batman's not in the room. If a listener could tell us the difference between paddle and pickleball, that would be...
We need like to make a dictionary over time.
Yeah. Okay, so we could make a pickleball team over here.
Yeah, it's 2-2 now. You play with...
where do you live in Canada now?
Well, at the moment in a place called North Bay, but that's because my boyfriend goes there to school. But it's only till I go back to Europe, and then he stays a little longer until he has his license. And then I will be in Europe for most of the year. And then eventually, I don't know yet where I'm going to live. So at the moment, I'm a bit of a nomad.
Me too. Do you know what, actually, this is quite funny.
So it's East Coast.
Oh, yeah, it's in Ontario. Yes, Ontario.
We're on a ride.
It's 3.5 hours north from Toronto.
Girl, you're close to me.
Yeah.
That's only like 5 hours from me.
Oh, that's very close, yeah.
That is for America.
Come down to Pennsylvania. We can play some pickleball.
Pickleball, cool.
That's what we were saying in Girona the other day. We were like, we're not like in 20 years' time, we're not all going to be like, do you want to meet at the bridge for a group ride? Like this it's such a bubble. And it's going to suddenly end, and God knows where it will be.
That's like how it was in college, and it's so depressing when you graduate, because it's like you see all these people every day. You live in the same town. Like my college bike team, it was like I would see the girls like twice a day at least.
Yeah.
And then it's like, and I was riding with girls all the time, and then all of a sudden I just moved to Southern Indiana, and I'm just riding with guys all the time.
I think we said like we do still the Oregon Trail, and when we are 70, no, Danny.
Yeah.
Like this ladies we met.
But they're going to finish that now in 4 years. There's only 4 more Oregons. That's why we have to go back next year.
Yeah, it's actually kind of on my program. I'm like, okay, fuck it, I'm going back there. I love the camping. I love the puffy eyes.
That's where me and G first bonded. Over the fact of me getting out the tent and her burst out laughing at my face because my eyes were so puffy. And then me burst out laughing at her face because her eyes were so puffy.
Wait, like, are RVs an option at that one, or you have to be in a...
Oh no. If I do it next year, I'm going to go all luxury. Yes.
Luxury.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. You two ought to get, especially Danny, now that we're hearing about your puffy eyes.
Hey, we both have puffy eyes.
The only fun thing was like, well, that was the camping was really fun actually. I really liked that part, and I liked the last thing when we went downhill. You remember that guy flying over his bike in the bushes because he wanted to show off? Yeah.
So he got signed by Total Energy again this year, I think.
Again. Okay.
Or maybe it's over.
Drop him.
But he has wear. Do you remember he was wearing UAE? I've totally forgotten his name.
Oh yeah.
I've forgotten his name. Anyway.
Alexis? No. Yeah, Alexis? Maybe. I don't know, whatever.
Anyway, he went back to the World Tour, and I think he won a race. Maybe it was last year.
Oh yeah, he did. Yeah.
he had already crashed, and then me and G, I think we were descending pretty fast.
Yeah.
But he decided it wasn't fast enough, so he came around us.
In his UAE aero socks.
Did a front flip, landed in the bush, and all we saw were these legs, and we could not. We were like, this was like the last stage of Oregon, and me and G were like dying because like we've done 5 days stage racing, but like hysterically laughing. And then he goes, "Oh, can I just ride with you guys?"
We were like, "You're good. I'm good. I'm all good." He was like up like straight away. I think he was so embarrassed. Yes.
So embarrassed.
Yeah. He was hoping you guys didn't see. That's what I was on a ride. I think it was Christmas Eve. And it was this like gravel group ride, but I didn't realize that it was a group ride till we showed up because like someone invited Trey on it, and we show up and this guy that had 38s on, right? So Trey and I were already like, why do you have those tires if we're about to go ride gravel? And so he was like, "Oh, have you been this way yet?" And I was like, "No." And he was like, "Okay, let's go this way, haha." And I was like, "Is it going to be hard?" And he was like, No, it's not bad. It's not bad. And so I was like, okay. And before the ride, Trey was like, go up towards the front because this is the type of group ride where you would get crashed out. And I was like, okay, I'll go up towards the front. So people pulled off and I was pulling with this guy. And then we go on this double track. There's like a strip of mud. And so he goes in the middle and I was like, oh, I'll follow his wheel because like he's ridden over here before and I don't want to go in the mud puddles. So I followed his wheel. He eats shit and crashes on the right side and I like swerve him and go on the left side. And I was just like, what the hell just happened? Because this was literally his idea to go on this double track road where he was like, oh, ha, have you been this way? And I was like, he must have known that it was going to be like hard or bad or something. I don't know. But I was like, it was funny because he had like 38s on and I had 2.2s on. So I was like, you got to get bigger tires next time, buddy.
You're like,
and
do
he
you
was
know
riding
anything about 2.2s by chance?
You know, with these guys, I always...
What were you going to say? I was going to say he was riding a Cervelo, so it could fit, I think, like up to 50s. So I'm like, you could have...
You know what, with these guys, I always call this is a small dick syndrome. This is the only way they can play.
It's like overcompensating.
Exactly.
There we go.
But
that is...
also, though, yeah, I'm just not one... Like, I'm like, when we're going on a group ride, it's meant to be chill. Unless it's like, if it's G, Danny, Sarah, like all these people that you guys know, and you guys are like, oh, we're just going to hammer it, whatever. But I'm like, when it's supposed to be like a chill Christmas Eve group ride with like a bunch of random people, I'm like,
I think if you put Danny, Sarah, and me together, we don't do a hammer ride. There's only a few others who would... Exactly. If you add some others, then probably yes. But
oh, well, I think we should wrap the pod there because I need to go and pick up my phone.
Yay!
Broken phone, guys. But G, that was great fun.
Thank you. Thank you, girls.
And guys, see you in the new year.
Woo!
Woo!
Happy
holidays.
holidays.
Me.
Happy New Year.
Thank you, G.
All right.